Midshipman Battalion. Today we have the pleasure of Mr. Brent. He's going to address us today. He's a businessman, former Marine, and he recently wrote an article that appeared in this month's issue of the Leatherneck. And there's a picture right there with a couple cadets in front of the barracks. So if you get a chance, make sure you read that. Today he's going to give us a small professional military education. All right.
VMI. Clearly, a privilege to be here. Gentlemen and ladies, you should know, as I travel overseas, I incur, and you probably heard this, a great deal of cynicism about America. People, cynics, they say, what's right about America? Well, I'm going to tell you what's right about America. I'm going to give you a resounding answer. It's a VMI, the Virginia Military Institute. The Institute will be heard from today. And the Institute's been heard from for a long time. 1839, 1863, and through all the wars and battlefields since then, since the battles at the halls of Montezuma. Except for one day in 1929 when the Depression came. And this place was in bad shape. It's not the place you see today. It was pretty close to ceasing operations. And along came the 5th superintendent, this gentleman, a Southern gentleman, and a Leatherneck. He arrived, and as a Marine, he knew the meaning of remedial action. And he immediately went back to his old friends in the War Department, which are now in the White House. He went to Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt and secured a federal grant for an astronomical sum of money during those Depression years to completely remodel, rebuild the programs and the buildings here. This gentleman, right across this drill field, there's a large building named after him. And inside that building is a bronze sculpture. Captioned on that sculpture, it says, "The greatest Leatherneck of them all." This gentleman probably would have taken umbrage with that accolade, but he deserved it. His name, look me in the eye, his name, John Archer Lejeune. It's the way it's spoken, the only way it's spoken. It's incontrovertibly correct. Now, if you'll indulge me, member of the Old Corps, I'm going to give you a rapid-fire PME on John Archer Lejeune. Once again, rock hard, that's the way it's spoken. Family, Swiss, French, Louisiana. Graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy, 1888. Then had to serve 2 years as a midshipman. Second highest in his class academically. So therefore, the Navy made him a future ensign, engineering officer, because of his academics. He didn't want that. He wanted to be a Marine. Along came the one quality he had that triumphs over everything. The quality is determination. Ensign Lejeune, actually Midshipman Lejeune, went to the senators, the governors of Louisiana, with persistence second to none. By the time the 2 years was up, they said if the Navy said, the Marines want you, they can have you. And that changed history for the Corps and for VMI, the two great loves of his life. He then went on through a storied career, Mexican War, Cuba, saved the Panama Canal. Where does it end? A great career. Ended up as a one-star in Washington, D.C. He was offered the chance to be a commandant and turned it down because in 1917, World War I was starting. Went to France, got the 2nd star, and became the first Marine to command a complete division, 2nd Army Division. He set records there. He helped end World War I. He went behind the lines to check topography as a 2-star general. He divided his forces in an unorthodox manner and won a major battle. He also started a whole string of traditions. First Marine officer to go to the end of the chow line. There was no chow left. The general didn't eat. He came back a hero, as did all the Marines. But it didn't last for long because the Army Chief of Staff and the Army up at the War Department, perhaps a better name for it, the War Department and the Army decided no more Marine Corps. They made a vow to eliminate the Marine Corps. A few guys could apply for the Army if they wanted to. General Lejeune, with that same determination, walked the passageways of Congress, set up traditions, and spent the next 3 tours as Commandant saving the Corps. He established traditions like the Sunset Parade, the birthday ball, the 10 November birthday message. He went on to create the schools at Quantico, allowed the Foundation for Amphibious Warfare, created the Marine Corps League, 1921, the Marine Corps Association in 1923. He went on. He got it done. When I was down in Louisiana working on the story on General Lejeune's family, they were really pleased because they felt the respect and the history of this man had been lost a long time. And they want it back, and so does the Commandant of the Marine Corps. In fact, they were so pleased they made me judge in Mardi Gras. That's a separate story. I'll tell you later. When I was down there, I met a gentleman named Brian Costello, direct descendant. Brian Costello wrote 19 books on Louisiana history. One's called The House of Lejeune. He said, Mr. Brent, every time we hear the June word on TV relative to the military base, we cringe. And then I went down to Tulane University and met the head of Spanish, the Italian, and French department, who explained to me the history of the word and how we were saying it correctly. But he also said, when somebody's done something so wrong for so long, it's very hard to correct it. And I said to Dr. Kruger, I said, Tom, look at me. That might be the case with civilians, but it won't be the case with VMI cadets, and it won't be the case with Marines, because respect and honor are their hallmarks. As some of you might know, as an avocation, I've been a journalist and a historian, and I've traveled around. I was a trustee at the Coast Guard Academy for 10 years. I've been at the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy. I went down there to Charleston, South Carolina. There's another school down there. I'm not sure, I don't think I remember their name. Doesn't matter. I also went up to New York City, and I found there's another academy up there in the Hudson River. I guess they call it the VMI of the North. The one thing I did learn by visiting all these academies, that VMI is in a class by itself. Lejeune family would say it has a je ne sais quoi. Much like our Marine Corps, it has that mysterious something that's hard to define. And when General Lejeune retired in Jackson Hall in 1937, he addressed the cadets for the last time, and he said, when the bugle sounds, VMI graduates won't be found sulking in the rear. And the hardships they experience in their youth will last them and steel them with a lion's heart for the battles of life to come. So when you're getting out there with those civilians and the other people around as you travel, as we said at the beginning, when they ask what's right about America, you tell them, it's VMI. Semper Fi and thank you.
Hey, let's go! Mountain